My name is Bug. I decided to eat grapes, I guess, on this stream. This is a grape stream. Don't know what to tell you. I should have been prepared. My name is Bug. I'm in a band called Bug Hunter. I'm going to put my grapes far enough away that I can't reach them. Because I shouldn't chew food on a stream. Hey, I'm Bug. I'm in a band called Bug Hunter. I'm streaming. I haven't streamed in a week. I pretended like I had something important to do on Sunday, and that's why I couldn't stream, but in reality, it was the only time that Kyle could play Baldur's Gate 3 with me, and I really wanted to do that, so that's why I didn't stream on Sunday. And it was really fun and worth it. I think we're going to play again tonight, but not right now, so I'm streaming. Who we got here? Who's in the chat? I know my parents aren't going to be here tonight because they are in... Oh, I almost reached for the grapes again. My parents are in London right now. So they are hopefully asleep. I would imagine they're asleep. They stayed with Matt from the Narcissist Cookbook for a couple of days, which I was very jealous of, but also delighted by. Just knowing that some of my favorite people were hanging out across the world. So anyways... Who is here? Not my parents, but we got Judah Sun, Galactic Decay, Century. It's Thy Cabbage Folk, but I was about to say Thigh Cabbage Folk. Galactic Decay, already said your name. Shadow is here, Roxy is here, Coconut Clove, Cornfield Cryptid, David Toe is here, Casey Ewing, Top Hat Cat. We got... who we got? Rolly, we got Thaddeus, Kramer, Casey Ewing. Mars is here. Hey, Mars. Looking awfully blue today. Cool. And Slippity Slew. Oh, Jams. Hey, Jams. You're here very distracted. Do you have a little bowl of grapes just out of reach? Because that's what's distracting me right now. Cool. So here, if you've never been to a stream before, I just read the name of everybody that says something. So for an hour, are they red or green grapes? Well, let me take this opportunity to show everybody. It's green grapes. Ladybug bought them for me before she left this week. So playing guitar to cover chewing sounds. Mr. City Waffles, any plans on fixing the safe word clock? Plans? No. Intentions? Yes. I have intentions to fix it. No plans, though. I would have to get batteries for that. And I am stuck at my house because my wife has our car. So I could order them, but batteries just seems like I can pick up at Kroger next time I'm there kind of thing. So I'll get some batteries next time I'm at Kroger, but I'll forget. But I'll intend to. Cool. So yeah, I'm in a band called Bug Hunter, and I play music and I stream every once in a while. Gonna try and be consistent. I say that knowing that I'm gonna go on tour in a month, and it's gonna break everything up. But maybe for the next month, I'll try and be consistent. How's that? I play my songs. I just had an album come out. It's this album. I have it. I'm very excited. I have all the CDs back in stock, and I was literally, I was sitting here about to just sit and just like pack orders, and then I remembered that it was Wednesday, because this week has been a little like my clock, unmoored from time. The day of the week has not mattered at all to me this week, because every day has been Kickstarter fulfillment tasks and packaging things. So I forgot it was Wednesday. It was 7:55, and I was like, oh shoot, I have to stream. And anyway, so my desk is full of just CDs, but we have the rough draft, we have Bigger Than Myself, we have Torn Between a Couple, we have everything. And I was just packing a bunch of orders. There's literally stacks of packages literally to my left. I'm stuck in my corner right now. I literally would have to move a box to get out. It's probably a fire hazard, but if you haven't seen the CD, this is the CD. This is the back of the CD that has the marquee with all the songs on it. If you hadn't seen that, yeah. So if you want to see the inside of it, you have to buy it though. Sorry. Art by Katie Affleck. Amazing. Love this. I'm like, oh, I opened them yesterday. I'm so excited. yeah, and so I always take the first box every time I release a new album. First box, open it up, top left corner. That's the first one. I take that one out and I put it with the other 5 CDs, or the other 4 CDs. Now I have 5 in a little bag that I have that has the original, the first edition, top left corner, first box CD from every album, as well as the first set tube of Rock, Paper, Scissors, Chess, which is a game that I designed and I made 100 copies of. So those are my special things in my little special bag, like a bird would do, with little shiny things. So anyways, so yeah, I was gonna play a song. I haven't practiced because I've been shipping things, so I'm gonna stick to maybe some new stuff that I'm a little more familiar with. This is a service that I provide to anybody who doesn't have a way with words like I do. Hello, my platonic best friend. I'm sending you this note, a long shot and a large confession. They say it's crazy, but I don't know how to tell you. I've dropped some subtle hints, but we're close knit like our clothes fit so knit. Pick one up like this. I love you, best friend, my best friend. Unless you don't love me, then I just sent the wrong link. I got big dumb thumbs and I never send this to my best friend. Hello, my platonic best friend. Let's take this nice and slow. I'm second guessing this confession, but I reckon that I'm better with a no than you should have said so. Let's put our hands together and we'll drop this old facade, cause I just want us to be closer than the 2 P's in a plot. I love you, best friend, my best friend. I have to let you know by letting this guy do it for me. It's either real or really, really, really good inside joke between best friends. We are platonic, but I wanna be the opposite. It seems I've gotten caught up by the promise of this opportunity, and I just wanted to acknowledge all the options at our feet. And I don't wanna have my noggin like an ostrich on the beach, cause on the microscopic odds that you respond, I wanna see. Spin the bottle, watch it wobble, have it stop and point at me. I am fond of talking to you, it's ironic that I need a melodic middleman to monologue this all for me. But just as Washington was honored just for chopping down a tree, a policy is fraud if it's not one of honesty. It's a lot of things to swallow, here's some water if you need. You can wash it with the offer, but the song is coming clean. Yeah, I love you, best friend, my best friend. It's such a simple sentence that's sent just to mess with our heads and with our friendship. But don't stress, I'm just messing unless you're interested in the next step of progressing. I'm hedging all my bets on this old tune. But my platonic best friend, I love you. You're my platonic best friend, I love you. Bug gets 1 grape for playing song. That was a song called Platonic Best Friend. If you hadn't heard it yet, it was the second single, third single, that we released off of Happiness Without a Catch before the big release, which was about, it was almost 2 weeks ago now, which is crazy. It's crazy to think about. It's been out for, the premiere was to a Thursday and a half ago, so that's wild. It seems like y'all liked it. I was very overwhelmed with the response to the album. If anybody in this stream hasn't heard the new album yet, I recommend you stop watching, because this album can be spoiled in ways that I might talk about. So, which reminds me, gotta put the little spoiler thing up. So that's if anybody joins after I say that. Spoilers about what? I don't know. I'm gonna spoil the Lord of the Rings. So I do a thing here on my streams where it's called Cozy Q&A, where I just kind of chill and just take some questions. which is fun to do. So, since the spoiler tag is up, feel free to put any spoiler-y questions that you want about the album or things like that. And I'm happy to answer them. In the meantime, I will give you an update on what is happening in my world. I kind of came up for air after the album came out. I've had more work to do than ever, but I have allowed myself a couple of sessions of playing Baldur's Gate 3 with Kyle. And I did play through and 100% a game called Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, which was one of my favorite games when I was a kid. And I hadn't played it in about 10 years, and I just remembered loving that game so much when I was a kid, and I wanted to play it, and so I played through it and 100%ed it with all the secret bottles and all the time trials. Just finished that last night at about 1:30 in the morning, so... Carrie Coyne wants to know. Okay, yep, immediately Baldur's Gate questions. What's your party composition in Baldur's Gate 3? And David wants to know my favorite part of Baldur's Gate 3 so far. So I did, I started a solo campaign, and I played a halfling monk named Sly, because I was playing Sly Cooper, and I was like, well, I'll just keep the theme. And I like being sneaky in any game that allows you to be sneaky. That's not as interesting, though. I am playing with Kyle. Me and Kyle have started a two-person party, and we have tried to not let anybody else in our party, but the game keeps forcing somebody in our party, which I don't appreciate. Even when you don't have them in your party, they show up at points where they assume that you would be in your party, which is annoying. I am playing in that one. I'm playing an elf fighter named Abanke, and Kyle is playing a drow druid named Robin. So together we are Robin Abanke, which is a really stupid joke about a song that we just released called Robin a Bank. So, but we laughed at it for just long enough to commit to naming our characters. So, yeah. Oh, David loves Sly Cooper? Why didn't we talk about Sly Cooper? Oh man, all the conversations we've had and we haven't talked about Sly Cooper? I freaking love that game. And my favorite part so far has just been kind of messing around and just seeing what happens. And like every 10 minutes, I just say oh, this is the coolest game ever. It's like, there's just so many cool things happening, and playing it with somebody is, I think, for me at least, immensely more fun. The problem I had playing it by myself was that I was so bogged down by the lore and the characters and the races, because I don't play D&D. I listen to D&D podcasts, but in a way, the way I interact with D&D is not in a way that requires me to understand everything, the world. I can just kind of be along for the ride, and this was a little more okay, I have to make decisions, and so I need to know, all right, that's a druid, and that's a tiefling, and I got to know about this. And there's just a lot to kind of take in, and I at many points I just wanted to stop and just be okay, I need to read a book about all of this. I need to read the manual or something. And playing with Kyle makes it so that if something happens and I don't know what's going on, we can just be hey, I wonder what that's about, and make a joke, and then just keep moving. It's just a lot more kind of carefree, so I like that a lot. Okay. We're just talking about it's just a video game stream now. Have you played the other games or just that one? I played a little bit of Sly Cooper 2. It didn't have the Sly Cooper 1 magic for me. I felt the kind of the more, it wasn't open world, but just kind of multiple ways of going here and doing this. I don't know, I got a little more bored by it. I liked kind of the more linear Sly Cooper 1 and the time challenges. I think they were more interesting to me to kind of learn guard behaviors and patterns and get really, really good at them. People saying collab with Rare Americans. If Bug collabs with Rare Americans, I'll die of happiness. Yeah, I don't... I know them now. I didn't know them until we released Two Bed, Two Bath, and a Ghost, and a lot of people kept saying this is this is like Rare Americans, and so I had to look them up. And they follow me on Instagram, so people must have been saying similar things to them. They're a much larger band than Bug Hunter is. They responded to my hello when I messaged them on Instagram. Yeah, they're another layer up from where we are in the world. So yeah, if they ever wanted to be like, hey, come on, come play a show, I would love to do that. But they seem like busy folks. So Roxy Foxy said, I missed the Kickstarter. Great news. We have like basically everything. There's only like 2 things that you can't get now from the Kickstarter. One is this little this guitar pick, which has the happiness camera catterbug on it. It's kind of hard to see from that far away, but it does. And it says happiness backer on the back. That's a guitar pick that you can only get from the Kickstarter. And then we have a variation of the new shirt that's only for the Kickstarter. Everything else, vinyls, CDs. Oh, we just got the enamel pins today. Can I show you guys this? These are so cool. These weren't part of the Kickstarter because I didn't know I was going to do these. But man, I'm going to show you guys this, and it's not going to focus. But look, guys, look. Yeah, it won't focus. They're really cool. You can see it at least from like this distance. I was inspired by the Narcissist Cookbook and their cool enamel pins that they had for like 4 days on tour until they all sold out, which is actually, I'll show you guys these. So we got Matt's pins and then my pins. They're very similar in just kind of style. But yeah, I got these today. They're very cool. I love these pins. I didn't know if like the intricate details on the camera were gonna like come out well because it's like a 2-inch pin, but they look amazing. Like they did a really good job. So anyways, it's super cool. And now that I know that they are cool and they work and they look good and people like them, I'm gonna look into more designs. Stickers are the more economical thing. We can make so many more stickers. The price of one, let's see, I'll break this down for you. The price of one enamel pin to have made is 10 stickers. Yeah, it's like 10 times more expensive. So stickers are a little easier, but if we get a really, really cool design that really, really works well, I have a whole sticker kit. You want to see my sticker kit? This is a grape and sticker stream. This is I have a little tackle box full of stickers. I bring this on tour. If you've ever been to a Bug Hunter show, you've seen this before at our merch table. And yeah, it's like I said, I was fulfilling orders and people always like to throw stickers into their thing. So I have a little tackle box full of stickers. And yeah, our newest ones are the little two peas in a pod for the two peas in applause. And then our shocking plot twist, smoke catterbug, rocket ship thing. So those are our new ones. And then obviously we have the new album. Welcome to, let me show you my wares. Welcome to my shop. Anyways, those are all on our website if you missed the Kickstarter. So, okay, sorry. Now I gotta go back through to what everybody said. About not like that. Do escalators count as stairs? Will people at the mall lose balance and fall on each other like dominoes? Yeah, it sure seems like having a button that does something like that would have all kinds of terrible side effects, huh? Shadow said that I should hang out with y'all there, which I don't know what that means. I missed the context of that. If you can tell me where there is. I'm hanging out with you here, so that's cool. Sounds like somebody heard a song in Portland that is unreleased. Thank you for not giving away too much information about it. And yeah, I've had a lot of people message me in the last 2 weeks saying, excuse me, sir, just listen to the new album, great album, but this song that I heard last year was not on it. And yes, so I hear you, and the only reason it wasn't is because I had a vision for this album that it did not fit on, but we recorded it, so we'll get it out there. We just need to give happiness a little bit of time in the spotlight, and don't worry, it'll it'll be out there again. So. Who's your favorite teenage Binja Guten turtle, and why is it Michelangelo? My relationship with the turtles is one in that I don't know which one is which. I loved them as a kid, but I genuinely don't know which one is which. I don't know what the personalities are. I don't know which one likes pizza the most. I think they're very cool, but I don't know I know their names, but I don't know which one has the thing and has the nunchucks and the little swords. I had all their action figures as a kid, but I have to get educated on the turtles. So okay. Ba, 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 ba. The not like that button merch when? That's a terrible idea. Thaddeus says, love the new album so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm very proud of it. I think it's as an album, you know, I say this a lot. So if you follow me or listen to me, I say it a lot, but I'm gonna say it again. Like, my goal with every album is like, it's never to have like, these 11 songs are the best 11 songs that I've ever written. They're just a different 11 songs. They're just about different things. And they're going to resonate with different people at different points in their life. And so my goal is to have every album, like, if I can make the album, like each album kind of like elevate like a level of writing as a craft and melodies and stuff, if I can improve as like an average, that's great. But I really just want like the songs to kind of like fit into the discography in a way that is like not alienating to either people who really like prefer the new album or prefer the older stuff, because it makes my life easier when I'm doing set lists of shows to not disappoint anybody. So no one comes to shows being like, oh, I really don't want to hear, you know, the new album stuff. And there's people who are going to come to the shows that be like, oh, I don't really know this, torn between a what? And so my goal is that just everything, like if I release a new album and now I have 4 albums, I would love for you to have your top 10 list of Bug Hunter songs to have 2 to 3 or 2.5 songs from each album, and that would be my perfect world. So is you know, I treat my albums like thematically enough like movies. I treat them like a movie director might think about like their repertoire of movies that they've released, in that you know, it's not like the next thing has to be better than the previous things. It's fine to just be a different thing. You can make a superhero movie, and then you can make a zombie movie, and then you can make and it's just a different thing. So that's how I treat my albums. And I don't think I'm even answering anybody's question. Cool. You remind me of that superhero on the news. I think his name was Bug Hunter. That's funny. Thomas Sum wants to know what a horse is. Don't know what that means. Casey wants to know, any chance of Coward getting a video? I would love for every song in this album to get a video. And I mean, obviously, like, the whole theme of the album is that every song is a different movie genre, so they are all pretty ripe for videos. Yeah, I was very, you know, I was talking to Matt today. We had a phone call because we're about a month away from tour, and we wanted to kind of touch base because we haven't chatted in like a couple weeks. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So there's a whole controversy around the song that I put on the album very last minute, like very, very last minute. Like didn't even exist when I ran the Kickstarter, and didn't decide to put it on the album until about like late June. And it's a song called A Bedtime Story, which the first draft of which, and I'll be fair to myself, the first draft of which was just fine. It was just fine. There was a lot of elements to the song, as you might have heard it, that didn't exist in the first kind of cut of the song. But I wrote it and like did the whole production of it with the banjo and the just everything in like 7 hours. Like I just sat here in the spot and I just was like, okay, yeah, obviously the song needs some banjo. Let's get that going. And I made like the whole thing. And it was good. It was good, but it was just it was so different from everything that I'd released. And on the tour, my dad and Matt were very adamant. They were like, people are going to love this song, and I was like, yeah, like I'm very happy with it. I think I did kind of the silly voices with the bears. That was my voice, by the way. Nobody, not even my parents or wife, recognized that was my voice. But yeah, it came together in a way that I was very satisfied with. But I was like, okay, yeah, no, hopefully like 1 or 2 people like it. And I put out an Instagram poll. Like the day the album came out, I said, "What's your favorite song? Just write it in." And it was like far and above number 1 answer was A Bedtime Story. And I was mad about this, and here's why. I was mad about it because it means I can't trust my gut. Because my gut said that I think people would like it, but no one would say it's their favorite. And the most people said it was their favorite. And so that means that I have to run more decisions by other people to keep me from making bad ones. So yeah, it's a very fun song. Don't get me wrong. I love the song. It's just like my gut said before the album was like, this is going to find its audience, but it's not going to it's not going to bubble to the top. And then it did, at least on a first impression. So I'm mad that my senses, my radar for how things are going to go is a little off, because I would love that to be finely tuned and always correct. Yeah. So, what was I even talking about? Oh yeah. I feel like that's what I was answering. Is Coward gonna get a video? I feel like Bedtime Story would probably lend itself better to a video than Coward right now, because more people are saying that they like A Bedtime Story. Cool. Thaddeus says, I've been listening to the new album nonstop since it came out. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I have not listened to it since it came out, because that's all I did for like the 3 months prior to it coming out, was listen to it over and 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 over. So I've been happy not to for the last 2 weeks. I got in my car last weekend and like didn't have to put on a new mix, which is like, because the two main places that I check mixes are my headphones and then in the car, because I just feel like that's going to cover 90% of cases of people listening to music. Headphones, car. You can make it sound good coming out of an iPhone, but if you're listening to music out of an iPhone, you're probably not expecting it to sound that great anyway. So headphones, car, and the fact that I could get in my car and just like turn on a podcast and not have to like devote that ear space to listening to a new mix and seeing if like the bass is making my windows buzz. Kate wants to know, what movie genre do you associate with each song? And that's a very good question. I don't think I'm willing to say. Some of them are obvious. It's like I'm not gonna like pretend that Coward is not my superhero movie. But I don't want to just like lay out the whole like list of. But I'm very intent. Like the album, like the idea for the album started as, let's list all the movie genres and then see if I can come up with ideas for each of these. So. And there's some that are missing that I didn't fit on this album, and maybe I'll still write some and release like a happiness addendum deluxe post-credit scene kind of album eventually. All right. Matt gave us ASMR, but Bug refused to. I don't know what you're referring to. Monty Smith says, surprised that A Bedtime Story was a late addition. It's top 3 on the album for me. Another late addition to an album was Be Glad I Love You on the rough draft. It was something, it was a little more last minute than A Bedtime Story. Because at least A Bedtime Story, we did get the drums recorded in the studio. Kyle did such a good job with the little kind of the snare rolls through that song. I was just going through some video of him playing the drums for that. I had a little handheld camera in the studio, and I saw a video just 2 days ago of him doing the drums for that, and he just did such a good job. Um, there were some parts of your album that felt improvised, like when you make the Airbnb line in Bedtime Story and say you're leaving it in. Was it actually improvised or just for effect? Yeah, it's nothing like. I'd say nothing. The all of the lines on the album were written. Okay, so no, there is one line that I improvised, like completely, from nothing, and that was the at the end of Not Like That. After the big kind of the crash and the wind down, you hear my voice just in the back, just saying, "It's like, oh my God, no!" And I just did that while I was doing that take, and I thought it was funny, and I left it in. And then that was in a demo, and then the people who had heard the album were like, "You're leaving that that little sound bite in at the end of Not Like That." I was like, "Oh no, I think that was just kind of like me being silly," and they're like, "You should leave it in." So I just snipped that little part and put it at the end of the finished track as well, because I liked it. And then the actual dialogue bits in fan fiction, like those are written out, but I didn't write out like the O's and ums and little repetitions where maybe I say something and then kind of repeat it real quick. That was very candid. I was just recording a demo version of the track, just to show it to somebody. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get this all together and get the new kind of lyrics in, and I ended up just using that take because it felt like I wanted it to feel, and to force myself to kind of say the practiced like ums and pauses. I was like, oh, it's not going to sound as good. So I got to figure out how I'm going to play that one live. I don't know how to play all the songs on this album yet. I've been so focused on recording it and getting it ready that I genuinely I could only play like half of it right now. Anyways, David says my songwriting is better than my taste. That's funny. Sorry, I'm a little behind in the conversation because I scrolled up, so I'm still talking about. You guys are all still talking about A Bedtime Story in my world. Thigh Cabbage Folk likes Alchemical Romance. Also, not one that I've kind of figured out how to play live. But I really like that song too. So. Jam says, I think you definitely see your art completely different from an audience member, and sometimes that lines up, and sometimes it results in a sleeper hit. Yeah, I won't be mad if y'all love Bedtime. If A Bedtime Story becomes our most popular song, then sure, that's great. I think I didn't expect to like have to play it at every show. So if there's like mobs of people just showing up to hear A Bedtime Story and don't know like McCracken or Disco, that would be a weird reality in my eyes, but that's life. So I think 30 Flame takes it for me. Your delivery on the line, Hot Toast Time Machine. Also a demo take. There was several lines that I just felt like my demo take was better than what I was getting in the studio. So I did, just leave in my Hot Toast Time Machine joke, my delivery from the demo as well. Any chance on doing Bedtime Story right now after that quick little story about it? I don't know how to play it, honestly. I don't know the chords. I played it a long time ago, and I don't know what I'm doing with the bear voices in that song, so I would have to practice it. And it's a tongue twister too, so I wouldn't trust myself to do it. I think at some point I'll probably practice songs, and then I might in my Discord or something like practice on camera before the tour, because I got the tour coming up and I do want to like be able to play everything, and so perhaps I'll like live stream just some practice takes where this feels like if I mess up I'll feel kind of bad, but like specifically a practice stream in my Discord where I can just like know that some people are watching, so it's not just like don't care at all, but if I mess up y'all knew what you were watching. So what podcast are you listening to? Mabim Bam is my go-to. My brother and me. But myself, myself, and Matt from the Narcissist Cookbook have set a scheduled time on Monday to record what we are hoping to kind of release as kind of a mini podcast. We have a lot of fun chatting in the van on the road. Matt and I get along really, really well. It's very rare to make a friend in your 30s, but also very rare to, have someone in my life that I can relate to in a way that Matt and I relate to each other. You know, there is something very, very life changing about getting up on stage and having, hundreds of people like, "Ah," and they know all your words and they're like excited to meet you. And Matt and I have, we're able to have that experience in common. And so we have a lot to talk about. And so, yeah, we just were talking in the van. We're like, let's make a podcast because I'm hoping to get onto that bandwagon before it takes off. But no, we have a good idea for one. It's a lot of the reason that we want to do it is for kind of creative reasons. It's going to be a podcast focused around writing and writing processes. And it's not just going to be like, hey, we talk about things and, just hang out, where it's going to be more productive. I think the goal of what we're doing is to challenge each other to be more productive, and if we can also give people a glimpse into our processes for creativity, then that's a cool side effect. But I think primarily it's very difficult to kind of get out of a slump when you're doing music full time, to actually just force yourself to sit and write. And so hopefully that this will be the outcome of that. So, sorry, I'm still a few minutes behind in the chat. When will we get access to the guacamole breakdown? I don't have Jesse has the video. I'm waiting for Jesse to put it in the Dropbox. I didn't get it on my camera. Jesse has it on his phone. I did share the Scream, the behind the scenes from the Scream from Matt. There's a Scream in Shocking Plot Twist, which I do have the spoiler thing. There's a Scream at the big reveal in Shocking Plot Twist that was just lifted from something Matt did while we were recording some group vocals for the song, and I put a video of that moment in our Discord. So I'll let you know when I have the guacamole breakdown. But yeah. Bola Squirrel says, at the end of 30 Plan, do you think he went forward or backwards? That's a really good question. Local indie artist enraged that fans like the wrong song off a new album. Yeah, I mean, it's funny when I hear when I was literally just listening to an interview with Jack White like 3 weeks ago where he said that Seven Nation Army was a song that they were just like, bum 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 bum, cool, and they recorded it, and then they went on to work on another song like later afternoon, and they thought it was just like a middle of the road song, and they were like surprised that the execs wanted it as a single, all this kind of stuff. And now it's like, it's played in like sports arenas, like during like hockey games and stuff. And it's true. You as much as I think I know, about what people want and like, there's this unknown bit of it as well, where the data that I have to go off of, like when I released Be Glad I Love You, all I knew is that people like Dear McCracken. That's literally the only data point I had, was that people like Dear McCracken, and some of those people also liked a song called The Key to Being Lonely. This is a very long time ago, before Torn Between a Couple found its audience, but like the whole album was based off of people heard Dear McCracken and they liked it. So I was like, okay, this song is nothing like Dear McCracken. It's cutesy and it's got little sounds, and it's just like, I have no idea if people are gonna like this. And then they loved it, and it was like our third most popular song, I think, until Two Bed Two Bath came around. Now it's fourth, and it's looking to maybe get unseated by some of the songs on Happiness. But when I have a song like A Bedtime Story, which is, it's just nothing like anything that I put out over 4 albums, then yeah, I guess it makes sense that I would be surprised, that I had no reason to think that people would like it. It'd be weirder if I thought people were going to love it, than what I did think, which was, hopefully some people like it. So In Alchemical Romance, you use they them pronouns for the love interest. Are they non-binary? And if so, is that true in all the songs, or is Alchemical Romance a different character? Without going too much into like the interpretation of the album as a whole, the only characters that have genders in the album are like specific characters, like Robert. I think I refer to him as a he, and Harrison as a he. Outside of that, the kind of the different narrators of the album, I never use I don't use pronouns for them, mostly because there was no reason to. There was no reason to say like, yeah, the singer of this song is a boy and this one's a girl. Like it didn't matter, and I wanted everyone to be able to see themselves on both sides of this relationship that I'm kind of describing on the album. So I'm sorry, I'm getting comments that don't make any sense to me, because they were probably made when I was saying something. Is swallowing gum the theme for the podcast? We don't have a theme for the podcast, but that's not a bad idea. So David says, the part I always find strange about the band is how they pretend to be siblings instead of husband and wife. And I was like, I don't think I've ever pretended to be husband and wife or siblings with Kyle and Jesse. But you've clarified that you meant the White Stripes. Yeah, you know, I didn't know that they pretended that. I just thought that was kind of what people thought. But that was something, like, you just unlocked a memory from, like, 8th grade where it was like, oh, yeah, Jack and Meg White are, like, brother and sister. And then I just didn't think about that for a long time. I didn't know that was something that they were propagating in the world, so... Spiritual Games wants to know, what guitar do you have and what made you want to play guitar? Yeah, this is a it is a Taylor 314 CE, and I've had this guitar for I don't know, 4 years now. I recorded Happiness on this one. I recorded Bigger Than Myself with this one. I recorded the Rough Draft with a different guitar, and then Torn Between a Couple, Dear McCracken, Surge of Confidence were all recorded on a guitar that it was like my first, like, I bought it from a store kind of guitar, not Craigslist, and it broke several years ago. So, okay, we've reached the point in the stream where I play another song, huh? Where's my pick? Yeah, I guess I could put the spoilers things down, because... Okay, I'll play a new one. Yeah. Let's see if this is unpracticed. So remember that time I said that I kind of feel like, I don't really want to mess up on streams? Well, we're going to see what happens. You never know. Starts tonight because tonight's the night, but not just any night. It is movie night. I would have made you dinner, but my toaster broke. So you put on a little sci-fi film about the dangers of blah 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 whatever. I am barely watching, time is standing still. I'm about to change my life forever. I ask you if we can chat a minute. Sure, when the movie's finished, so I fast forward to the end and say, I think we should be more than friends, and you say, look, you're great. Uh-oh, that's not a good start. You say you're not ready for that and don't want to mess up what we have, but I have an idea, you say. And you reach into your bag of things that 20-year-olds think are good ideas. And you pull out this massive classic gem. If we're both still single at 30, will you marry me? It's a pinky promise shifted one to the right. It is too soon for I do's. Will you take and I might? If we're both still we cut to the scene where I build a machine, but not just any machine, it is a time machine. I made it from my toaster, like that movie, Hot Toast Time Machine. Load a bagel in the future slot, set the 10 and smack down on the lever. A decade passes in a single thought, I'm about to change my life forever. I find you when you're still single, I am obviously single. It's like a tale from a storybook, until you say how does 40 look, but wait, I'm pretty sure you said, and I quote, if we're both still single at 30, will you marry me? It's a time capsule, no, it's a proposal. A little bit of neither and a little bit of both. So now we're both still single at 30, but apparently what you really meant to say was, oh, come on, let's pick an arbitrary number, kick the can down the road before we tie it to the bumper. You never thought we'd be single at 30. I am still not your first choice, but I'm a solid 40 plan. Hot damn safety net that I am. You got a backup love, so you know where I stand. I'll take a maybe, a shot, or a chance. Yeah, I'll take a maybe, a shot, or a chance. There are no bagels in the future, I have got one left, but 2 slots on my toaster. One'll take me forward, one'll take me back. One's another chance and one is closure. I load my bagel, I made up my mind, set to 10 and smack down on the lever. A decade passes as I go through time, I'm about to change my life forever. Jams with the perfectly timed clap clap, even for a new song. Thanks everybody. Now I gotta read your comments because I was focusing too hard on singing the song because I hadn't played it since tour. Yeah, Ethan brings us back up. I remember when you asked that, I asked you weeks ago what songs on the new album an 8 and 10-year-old would enjoy, and you censor yourself a bit, not wanting to spoil anything. And yeah, that's kind of coming from a place of like, I don't want to say like, oh, don't listen to this one because it's, you know, sad or whatever, because then it kind of gives things away. Yeah, bedtime story. Yeah, I can imagine that's probably not too bad for the kiddos. So, the audience reaction that I got from I mean, and this is like, you know, when you're writing a song, and especially if it has like some jokes in it, you're always like, oh god, I hope people think this is funny in a way that I intend it to be. The audience's reactions when I got to that that look, you're great, just like the groan from audiences this summer when I played it on tour was just so perfect. I was like, okay, we all know where we're at in the song and in this story. Anyway, so gotta play this. Hold on. Thigh Cabbage Folk says, how did you come up with the pinky promise shifted one to the right line? It's so clever. The funny thing about that is that was I think the last one that I wrote. There's 3 lines in the song that kind of follow that same format. It's a pinky promise shifted one to the right. It's too soon for I do's, will you take it I might. It's a time capsule. No, it's a proposal. A little bit of neither and a little bit of both. So, and then the other one was, ah, come on, let's pick an arbitrary number. Kick the can down the road before we tie it to the bumper. Which is one of my favorite lines I've ever written, and that line single-handedly saved this song. I mean, it was an old Rough Draft song from like 6 years ago. That line has been the little like hand wave at me every time I go back through old songs that says, "Hey, look at me. You remember this song? You should finish it." And I had a few more that I written, just different drafts, and I'm actually a little surprised that more people are calling out the pinky promise shifted one to the right line more than the kick the can down the road before we tie it to the bumper line, which is I think very funny. And I'm very glad that people gave me the benefit of the doubt with the Pinky Promise line. I guess the thing I was afraid was that, like, obviously, it only works in one orientation. If someone's like, Pinky Promise shifted one to the right, oh, that's nothing. You have a stupid song. You're a bad writer. People get it that you have to just look at your hand like this, and it's to the right of your pinky with the ring finger. Pinky Promise shifted one to the right. That's the line. And yeah, I was just like afraid that a lot of people would just kind of like be like, I don't get it. I don't know. People are going with me on that journey. So, anyways, hold on. Cool. Casey Ewing says the favorite of the three is the time capsule line. Great, cool. I love that. I like all three. I keep scaring people with the loud strum. It's only to save you from having to hear me chew a grape. So. Was the hell yep in 30 Plan prompted? So the hell yep joke in 30 Plan is a callback. It is a self-referential callback to obviously the song "Toddler with a Slingshot." Hell yep. There's a line in near the end of Toddler with a Slingshot where I say, if their story's kind of boring, you can tell them hell yep. And that I was just kind of making fun of my dramatic entrance to that song was, tonight's the night, but not just any night. It is movie night, which is like kind of boring as far as like leading up to being like tonight's the night. And then I give a little hell yep in there just to kind of make fun of my own kind of boring story that I'm telling, and also be a nod to Toddler Slingshot. So. Casey Ewing says, I actually used a little bit of neither, a little bit of both. I think that's funny. I don't, it's not as like overtly a joke as the other two, but just saying something is a little bit of neither. It doesn't make any sense at all. But it kind of does in the context of the song, like on its face value, saying something is a little bit of neither. Doesn't actually make any like logical sense, but in the song people get it, and that is that makes me laugh. So US tour of the new album soon. What do you call soon? Not this year, but I'm gonna go to the UK this year, and then take some time off to spend time with family. Yeah. So I'm gonna tour next year, but it probably won't be until I'm gonna say April. Probably just looking at kind of like the things that are going on in my world. My wife graduates from school here in a couple months, and then we're gonna take some time off to travel. And go back to the West Coast, see some family for an extended period of time, and maybe go to Europe, like not for work, but just to like go and see things and look at castles and stuff. So in the meantime though, it takes a lot of time to plan a tour, especially at the level that we're at, where there's hundreds of people all buying tickets and needing customer service, and cancel this and change the name of this and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of work. And so yeah, the plan for next year, if we can manage it, is that Matt and I will do another Bug Hunter Narcissist Cookbook, Take on America tour. We're gonna have to look into just if it's possible. So that's the plan. Yeah, and if Matt can't come back next year, I'll still tour, but the plan right now is to have Matt along and do another co-headlining tour. So, great time. Cool. All right, I am gonna go. Bye, everybody. No, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate y'all wanting to come and hang out and hear some new songs and talk about the album. Which I obviously it's a topic that is I love talking about now because I haven't been able to talk about it publicly for so long, to kind of let y'all just live it and hear it and absorb it. It's only been 2 weeks, but the amount of critical analysis of the album that I've seen in the first 2 weeks what like completely blew me away. So even the first like 24 hours, I was absolutely blown away by the level of like scrutiny that people put on the album, in such a like correct way, in like the you saw what I was doing kind of way, which it's a super hard line to walk. Bigger Than Myself in a lot of ways has a lot of kind of similar depth to it, but very few people have kind of dug into it because it's a little more beneath the surface. This one was a little more overt, but I feel like I like hit the spot where people could kind of like get the references in between songs and stuff. And yeah, so thank you for giving me your attention in that way. It has validated me in a big way, and made me feel very good about how I'm spending my life. So cool. I'm gonna go. If you want to hang out in the Discord, there's a Discord link in the comments. Are they over here? I have no idea. Yeah, you should go join our Discord. It's a good Discord. And then like I said, we got the CDs in. Vinyls are still a few months away, but you can pre-order them now. We're only making about 300, and I believe like 200 of them are already claimed. So if you want one, you could go to our website and get that. It'll just take a couple months because they have to be produced, and it takes a long time to make vinyls. So cool. Okay. Bye.